The Eagle has landed.
Yep.
And it is time for another episode of A Little Off the Top with your hosts,
Hannah.
and Noah. Well, we're going week to week right now. I guess I should stop tapping the table. We're going week to week right now, aren't we? Last week we did a football heavy episode with the start of the football season.
Just for Ryan, because we know he loves it so much.
He loved it so much. He was so happy to see football in the title. For those of you listening, you can also watch video available exclusively on Spotify. So if you'd like to go over there and see our faces and the doggy cam, those are things that are there.
Even though our... I don't know how she does this. She knows where the parameters of those videos are, and she finds a way to stick half of her face where she's off camera.
Yeah.
Oh.
Get a little bit. Anyway, that's very visual content. I think we're going to try to be a little more week to week. Maybe not every week. We might build up some, of course, if we're going to interview somebody or something like that. But, so we can have some more relevant things and all that good stuff. So, but anyway, how's you started your new contract?
I did start my new contract.
I started my work at the radio station, and we're rolling along. How are things? It's been just a couple of days.
It's good. She put me on call my second day.
Right, yeah.
Which I have been at this facility before, so I kind of knew like the workflow and stuff like that. But they have a new computer system and all of that, so it was quite a bit to pick up on before going on call.
Yeah.
And then I got called in twice yesterday evening and then once in the middle of the night. And it was so funny when that call came in. It was at 1:30 in the morning, and we didn't go to bed till after midnight because I was not tired.
Yeah.
And
we played a video game that I'll talk about in a second.
Yeah. And you played a video game and I watched.
And you watched. Yeah.
But after I hung up, like my brain was like, wait, did that really happen? Are we dreaming right now? And so I had to pull back up my phone log on my phone and be like, oh yeah, no, that really happened. She really did just call me.
Yeah, I sort of remember rolling over and waking up for just a second and being like, she's not there. I don't know if she's in the bathroom or if she went to work. And then I fell right back asleep. And the next time I woke up, you were next to me. So I had no real recollection of your departure.
Yeah, this morning you asked me if I'd got called in anymore. And I was like, just the once at 1:30. And you were like, I don't remember that.
Eating a little bit of yogurt here. Some Oikos 000. Shout out. You can get them in a very big box at Sam's.
Yeah, it's a good way to get some protein in the morning for breakfast.
15 grams of protein to start your day. And got a big old cup of Gatorade Zero here.
Which Gatorade Zero was kind of what got us through a recent time where we both were not feeling good and was kind of feeling sick all the time, and just Gatorade Zero was the GOAT.
We were on a liquid diet for a short while. We were not hungover or anything like that. It was just I didn't
even think about that. I've never been hungover.
I've never been hungover either. So, but we were on a liquid diet for a little while, and Gatorade Zero was definitely the GOAT for that. But anyway, we've been rambling for 5 minutes. How about we just get into the meat of the episode?
All right, let's do it.
All right, so. And thank you for tuning in to ALOT News. This is Odd News with Noah. I've got a California man accidentally paying neighbor's bill for years. San Diego Zoo vets perform first ever porcupine C-section. Ohio man wins $500,000 lottery prize on his birthday. New Zealand names birds of the year after a contest. World's oldest living person honored on Respect for the Aged People's Day. So, how about we just get into it here? First off, California man accidentally pays neighbor's power bill for years. Now, I do remember in our old apartment that we had a closet light that was connected to the neighbor's power
Yep.
for a short while. Well, this is much more than that. A California man discovered he has been mistakenly paying his neighbor's power bill for up to 18 years. Ken Wilson, who has lived in the same apartment since 2016, said he recently noticed his Pacific gas and electric bill was going up, so he took steps to try to reduce his energy usage. He reached out to the company when his bill failed to go down, and he said, I thought there was a leak or someone was stealing my electricity or the meter was faulty because something wasn't right. A utility company employee came to examine Wilson's meter and discovered the company had been charging him for the unit next door instead of his own apartment. Wilson said the mix-up may have been happening for the entire 18 years that he lived in the apartment.
So was someone else paying his?
I assume so.
Wow.
So somebody had a real cheap bill and he
Yeah.
was paying, and I'm assuming he had a new neighbor move in and they ran the air conditioner and all those things. And he's like, hold up, why is my bill so high? The company says they acknowledge an error occurred in this instance and we're fully committed to rectifying the situation with the customer and make the customer whole.
So he doesn't have to pay for electricity for the next 18 years? That's never going to happen.
I know that's not going to happen, but I hope something happens. Like there's got to be some kind of rectifying the situation there. Keeping on with the money theme, Ohio man wins $500,000 lottery prize on his birthday. An Ohio man had plenty of reasons to celebrate when he won $500,000 while celebrating his 40th birthday. The Ohio Lottery says the Findlay man bought a $10 mega multiplier scratch-off ticket from the Speedway on Tiffin Avenue in Findlay while celebrating his 40th birthday. Ticket turned out to be a $500,000 winner, and the birthday revealer said his prize money will go towards taking a trip and making investments.
I'd be buying a house.
Yeah, I would be putting a huge down payment on a house. That's what I would be doing. I wonder if you still take the mortgage for the credit boost. What do you think?
I mean, I guess you could if you put like a bunch down and only had a little bit left,
right,
and still took the mortgage, so it was just a very incredibly cheap mortgage. I don't know,
but I have heard that people say that your credit goes up and then you pay off your mortgage and all of a sudden your credit takes a dip,
which is so dumb to me. That system has needed an overhaul for years.
The credit system is very broken. That was a very short article there, but still, I mean, congratulations to hopefully both of them, because hopefully that guy gets some free electricity and the other guy isn't stupid with his money. I'm glad they didn't reveal his name in the article because, well, you know how it goes. You win some money and then everybody
shows up.
Your fourth cousin, 6 times removed, cousin's brother's best friend's ex-boyfriend shows up and he's like, hey man, remember when we met at like that family reunion 12 years ago? Well, I just got out and like I heard you want some money, like, well, anyway. So
I would also take a trip to New Zealand.
Speaking of New Zealand, great segue.
Yeah.
New Zealand names birds of year after contest with bird costumes and craft beer.
That sounds fun.
Golden-eyed endangered penguin has once again been named New Zealand's bird of the year after a competition involving bird costumes, craft beer, and Dr. Jane Goodall. The Hoi-ho, or noise shouter, won the title for the second time Monday after previously securing the top spot in 2019. In a competition that was any birds to win, they showed up with the goods to capture hearts and minds across Aotearoa. I'm sure I just destroyed that, said Nicola Toki, who is the chief executive of Forest and Bird. Toki is referring to the group that championed Hoi Ho. That effort included a museum, a rugby team, and a brewery that celebrated the people's penguin with a special drink. Uh, and with that, Hoi Ho won in 2019 and joins the Kakapo in being the only birds to win twice Bird of the Year in New Zealand. The runner up was the Karure, 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 which was represented by a university student organization and was promoted with bird costumes and memes. The Hoi Ho, which has seen its population dip nearly 80% within a 15-year period, was honored at the perfect time, according to Toki. Hoi Ho are being hammered from all angles, he said. They suffer from horrible diseases like diphtheria and get attacked by dogs. Tiny, vulnerable chicks are threatened by introduced predators like cats, stoats, and ferrets that can wipe out an entire breeding site in a single season. Goodall also offered her support for the Hoi Ho's win. Last year, John Oliver backed the Putiti Putikiki, Putiki, whatever, as Bird of the Century with an elaborate campaign of his own. So it's a very cute. It's a golden-eyed penguin, small penguin. If anybody wants to look it up, it's Hoiho. I would
Dr. Jane Goodall. That was she the one that was
with the
really big
gorillas.
with the silverback gorillas?
Yeah. Yeah, Jane Goodall. Talking about gorillas, this doesn't have to do with gorillas, but it does have to do with the zoo. San Diego Zoo vets perform first ever porcupine C-section. The San Diego Wildlife Association announced its veterinarians have performed the first ever cesarean section birth for a North American porcupine. The Wildlife Alliance said Maisie, a female North American porcupine living at the San Diego Zoo, suffered complications during labor that necessitated a C-section procedure to protect her life and that of her male baby. A quote from the Vice President of Wildlife Care with San Diego Zoo Alliance, Greg Vincino. This landmark procedure highlights the critical role that our veterinarian teams play in species conservation, not just in emergencies, but as a part of a legacy of leadership in wildlife care. The success of Maisie's C-section is another example of our veterinarians' unwavering commitment to preserving the health and longevity of wildlife. The male porcupet, who has not been named yet, is being hand-reared by zookeepers to allow Maisie to recover from the C-section. For the North American porcupine, this procedure represents a significant step forward to improve long-term survival rates and contributes to broader conservation efforts aimed at securing its future in the wild. Michelle Goodman, Director of Animal Care with the Elmwood Park Zoo and veterinarian advisor for the North American Porcupine Species Survival Plan. So that's a big step there because there have been many porcupines, apparently the North American porcupine, that just pass away in labor. And so with labor complications and stuff like that. So now they do know that the C-section is something that is possible.
Yeah.
You know, I guess the North American porcupine is a dying species, and so that's part of it. Which, to be honest, I've not really seen many porcupines in my life. So.
No, we saw the most that we saw was in Maine when we were there.
Yeah, we saw a couple
and then we
there.
saw a couple that had been hit by cars in South Dakota. Which San Diego Zoo, we have something that happened this past weekend that could potentially involve the San Diego Zoo.
We were in Rapid City this past weekend. I had some gigs over there, and so we were there, and they have a group called Dolls Chainsaw Art, and actually got a really cool little piece from that. Let's see if I can get it on camera here. There it is. It's a little bear head mount. You can see it right there. Where? Let me go. You can see it right there. There. Anyway, um, they do all kinds of really cool art, a bunch of Sasquatch pieces and stuff like that, bears and all
Yeah.
kinds of stuff. But they had this huge throne looking thing that was a big old elephant head with tusks coming down, and then like these like roots and vines coming up from the bottom, all carved, all chainsaw carved, three big pieces that they've put together. And we were talking with the guy, and he said that there's an offer put out from the San Diego Zoo that it may get shipped there. And I think he said it weighs like 13,000 pounds or
It
something like
was
that.
an incredibly
It,
large amount.
it was really cool. We both sat and took a picture on it. It was super super cool, and it was really cool to see, just to see something like that.
I hope it does end up at the zoo
It would
because
be
that would be a really cool piece.
yeah, it'd be the perfect piece for a zoo.
Yeah.
Well, we got one more story here in our news segment for today, and it is the world's oldest living person honored on Respect for the Aged Day.
Nice.
The oldest person alive was honored on Japan's Respect for the Aged Day. Tomiko Ituka, now 116 years old,
Wow.
became the world's eldest living resident after Marian Branyas Morera died. She was 117 years old.
Woo.
Ituka outlived her husband, who died in 1979.
Oh my goodness.
Her son, Hiroshi Kai, said his mother liked spending time on her own, climbing mountains. She didn't slow down after turning 80, completing a Buddhist pilgrimage that included visits to some 33 temples. She didn't use a walking cane when visiting a shrine after her 100th birthday. And Guinness World Records noted that in addition to being the oldest human alive today, she also ranks 23rd in the list of the oldest humans to ever exist.
Wow.
They honored her on that day, and which was just 2 days ago, as of recording this. It was September 16th. Let's look at that list of the oldest people to ever exist, just out of curiosity here.
Methuselah.
Yeah, well, she's let all that's left. She's the oldest, but let's see who the list is. I'm trying to find the oldest person ever authenticated was Jeanne Calmette from France, who lived to be 122 years old and 164 days. Whew. That is crazy. It's crazy that she lived for that long after her husband passed away too. A lot of time older people, they when their partner passes away, it's not long after that they pass away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean, she would have been, let's see, what was that date again? 1979. So she would have been,
It was like 45 years ago.
yeah, she would have been 71. That's still pretty old. Still pretty old. It's not that old, really, but I've seen people in their 60s, their loved one their spouse passes away, and then they just kind of do the same. Awen is laying where her head is just out of the camera.
Do you want me to go fix it?
No, it's okay. It's okay. They get to see the doggy. She'll move around, I'm sure. But well, that's going to do it for ALOT news today. All right. Well, we got a little bit more. We got a new segment here.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to do a little. It's a sort of a new segment. We've done something like this before, but we haven't had an official sound for it. And I'm excited for the sound because it is still football related. The sound it's football related. The draft is not. The thing is not. Anyway,
Spoiler.
It is draft time.
Yeah.
And the little sound that just played, you can't hear it, but the little sound that just played is the sound while the NFL draft is going on that signifies like the next person is on the clock, basically. So we're gonna do it's fall. Fall's coming up. You
Mm-hmm.
know, it's starting to cool down here.
We're ready for some sweater weather.
Yeah,
Hence
that's why
us
we're
wearing our
wearing
sweaters.
our sweaters here. Let me show my sweater here. My favorite LSU logo throughout the years, right here. And Hannah's is little Highland cows with
UNC
UNC.
Chapel Hill.
Yep. So we got our sweaters on. We got the fan running so that we're not sweating bullets here. But fall is on its way,
Yeah.
and I think we should do a draft of our top 5 fall things.
Okay.
So I think the way that we should let's pick who goes first by doing a quick rock paper scissors in front of the camera. All right.
Okay.
So rock paper scissors shoot.
All right.
Okay. Rock paper scissors shoot.
Okay.
What was that? Rock. Oh, okay. So it's 1-1. I did scissors. She did rock. She won. I did paper. She did rock. I won. So this picks it. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Ah. Okay.
She did scissors. I did rock. So I get to pick first. And, you know, there's one that you would think I'd go with first.
Football.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna pick it, so it's safe.
Kinda.
Is that what you're gonna say?
Kinda. Because I don't think that you would pick it first. You know what I mean? Like if you were going to pick it, you'd be like, "Oh, it's still on the board." But now, because I talked about it and said it out loud, you would do it because that's you. So I'm going to say my number one pick for the fall season is football season. That's my number one pick.
I'm just all of football.
Football season.
Football
that happens
season.
in the fall. It happens in the winter as well, but football season.
All right.
People think fall, they think football.
My mom is gonna hate this, but mine is. Oh well. I want to say Halloween decorations, but with that, can I say like scary movies as well, or is that two different things?
That's two different things.
Well, I know. Never mind. Halloween decorations, and the biggest reason is because of all of the skeleton stuff. Because as an X-ray tech, uh, skeleton stuff isn't around all the time, and there's always stuff for nurses and doctors, but radiology tends to get left out, as well as a lot of other allied healthcare stuff. So Halloween season and fallish season is when I can find my skeleton stuff.
Okay. So skeleton stuff or Halloween decorations.
Halloween decorations, yeah.
For number 2, I'm going to go with the crispy air.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Crispy air, like it's cooling down. You walk outside, the wind hits you a little bit, and you're just like, "Oh, that's nice.
Mm-hmm.
That's nice." I'm not gonna sweat. I'm not gonna sweat buckets in my. I'm not gonna have pit stains in my sweater.
Up, our live audience has left the building.
Oh,
she's coming. She's making her way.
She's making her way downtown, walking fast.
Hi, babes.
Hi, Aowen.
All right. So my second one is going to be fall scents, like
Fall
all of
scents.
the candles and all of the different like pumpkin spice and apples and all of that. That's I used to always tell my mom I love decorating for Christmas the most, but I love the smells of fall.
Yeah, fall scents are definitely
Elite.
up there. Yeah. I'm gonna go with apple picking.
Okay.
In the fall. Apple picking, apple cider, apple season.
Yeah.
Is that
apple is superior to pumpkin?
Apple. I'm just gonna say apple.
Apple.
Oh man, what's your third pick?
And we're gonna do something like this a little bit later, closer to Thanksgiving. But I'm gonna say, getting together for Thanksgiving,
Okay, so
because the food for Thanksgiving is better than your typical like Christmas get together. So Thanksgiving dinner
okay.
and like the menu that surrounds that.
I just put Thanksgiving. You get
Yeah.
Thanksgiving.
Yep.
And since you got Thanksgiving, I'm going to take Halloween.
Okay. Oh,
So,
I mean, like I decorate for Halloween, but we don't typically. We've not been in places that
yeah.
do a lot of trick or treating and stuff like that. So
I have a lot of good memories of like costume parties in college and stuff like that. Nothing crazy, but costume parties. I actually won some contests with my costumes where I dressed up as Matt Foley. And for those of you who don't know who Matt Foley is, it's the "You're living in a van down by the river," the Chris Farley character from SNL, which I found out today was partially written. Bob Odenkirk, the guy who played Saul Goodman, was a writer for SNL at the time and was one of the main writers for that sketch.
I didn't know that. That's
It's one
cool.
of the most famous SNL sketches, so that's kind of cool.
That's cool.
I'm listening to his book right now. So
Cool.
comedy, drama.
Since you took Halloween, does that mean I don't get to say scary movie? Well, no.
No,
Scary
that's
movies
yeah,
are their own thing.
that's fine.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's really a fall specific thing, but
But
people think about scary movies,
yes.
and
And
they do come out a lot during the season.
Yep. And a lot of people, oh well, and then movie theaters and stuff will do like throwbacks.
Yeah.
And
My last pick is the Changing Colors.
oh yeah,
That's my last pick.
that's one thing that I'm not very happy with where we're at right now.
Yeah.
Is the fact that there are so few trees. When I grew up, a mile and a half away from the Blue Ridge Parkway,
Sure.
where fall and leaf season was.
Unless we live somewhere that's like, whenever we stop traveling and stuff, unless we live somewhere that's like, mountainy, like that's going to be the case always. You're going to be let down a bit because you grew up at a place that was like people travel from all over the world to go see those colors.
Wisconsin was pretty.
Wisconsin was pretty.
It was so pretty.
Yeah, Wisconsin was very pretty.
All right. Well, I guess I'm going to be that basic white girl and say pumpkin spice lattes.
Pumpkin spice.
Because,
but not Starbucks. We don't mess with Starbucks in this household.
No. In fact, Noah makes the best pumpkin spice latte I've ever had. And that's not me just schmoozing up to him. We use the Premier Protein shakes, and they have a pumpkin spice like a pumpkin spice shake.
Yeah.
And so he'll make me a latte and does a phenomenal job. And Starbucks could take a long walk off a short pier.
Goodness gracious, that it didn't need to go that far. All right, so a look at our draft here, and people can grade it as they like. But I had football season, crispy air, apple, Halloween, and fall leaves. You had Halloween decorations, fall scents, Thanksgiving, scary movies, and pumpkin spice.
Mm-hmm.
And that is our definitive fall draft for a little off the top.
Whoop, whoop.
Be right back after a reset. And we're back after a little bit of a reset there. So let's move on to our last segment for this episode.
Mm-hmm.
That's weird.
That's weird.
Oh my gosh, that's weird.
Bro, that's weird.
That's weird.
It's weird.
That's weird. Anyway, that's probably one of my favorite jingles, intros, theme songs, whatever you want to call it, that I've made out of all of them. But anyway, we've done this segment one other time, and it's just where we talk about stuff that's weird. And today, what is our weird thing we're talking about?
We're going to talk about weird state laws.
That's right. We're gonna just I found a list that's kind of all the states. So we're just gonna kind of go back and forth, talk about them, and Let's see if we've broken any of these laws.
All right,
Okay.
let's do it.
Some of them, in whenever I was reading them, are kind of inappropriate, so we're not going to go with those. But we're going to keep it kind of wholesome here. But anyway, would you like to go first,
Sure.
starting from the top? What's the first alphabetical state?
Alabama.
Alabama. That's right. So let's start with Alabama.
All right. It's illegal to wear a fake mustache that causes laughter in church. A quirky and unusual law makes it illegal to wear a fake mustache that causes laughter in church. This law is presumably aimed at maintaining decorum during religious services by preventing any intentional distractions or disruptions. By prohibiting the wearing of humorous or ridiculous facial accessories, the law seeks to ensure that church services remain respectful and solemn for attendees.
Wow.
Although rarely enforced today, it remains an interesting part of Alabama's legal history.
Rarely enforced, but that means
it's
sometimes
been
enforced. Talking about removing distractions in important spaces, it is illegal for a driver to be blindfolded while operating a vehicle in Alabama.
Wow.
Which
laws are made.
I hope so.
Laws are made because somebody does something.
That's true. There's actually 3 different ones right here that are related to driving where I'm like, what happened? What happened to cause this? You know what I mean?
What made someone try this?
Right. Yeah. The blindfolded, I'm glad that that's illegal.
Yeah.
I feel that should be illegal in every state.
Yeah, I think so too. So Alaska is our next state.
Oh, I have a couple more for Alabama.
Okay. Mine is 1 each.
Oh, okay. So, it's illegal to drive the wrong way down a one-way if you have a lantern attached to the front of your vehicle.
So it's not illegal the other way, just if there's a lantern attached to
I guess not. In Montgomery, it's considered an offense to open umbrella on the street for the fear of it spooking horses.
Okay, that's an old law.
That's a very old law.
That's an old law.
Lastly, bear wrestling matches are prohibited in the state of Alabama.
Somebody did it.
Somebody did. Also, where'd they find a bear in Alabama?
I bet it was some kind of like traveling circus or something.
I'm sure.
That came in, and the people, at least somebody who had something to do with the law was, enraged by that.
Are we sure that it was a bear and not just a very hairy, large man? Because those traveling circuses back in the day.
I know.
What was the name of that movie we watched?
The one that they redid it in black and white.
Yeah, it had Bradley Cooper in it. Oh,
I don't remember the
something
name of the
alley. Breakaway Alley. No, that's not it. It's apparently Breakaway Alley is a thing. Hold on, Bradley Cooper, Nightmare Alley.
It was funny. I was thinking that, but I was like, nah, man, that sounds like something from American Horror Story.
All right, so on to Alaska. You got one law from Alaska.
All right. You cannot push a live moose out of an airplane in Alaska.
I had that one on here. And also, it is legal to hunt a bear in Alaska, but it's illegal to wake a bear and take a picture for photo opportunities.
The thing is, if I was close enough for photo opportunities, you best believe I would not be waking that bear. I would snap my picture and then I'd get the heck out of Dodge.
If I was close enough for photo opportunities, I would not be taking photos. I would because my pants would be a different color in the photos. So
you'd be trying to leave before the smell hits the bear's nostrils.
Maybe I would be safer that way, though. Who knows? Also, it is illegal to whisper in someone's ear while they are moose hunting in Alaska. And moose may not be viewed from an airplane. No way.
So if you're flying low over
and you
Alaska
see a moose,
and you see a moose,
you better look away, or else
that pilot be like, "Don't look out the left side windows." I would go to jail because I would be the person who would run to the left side and look.
Hold on, I got this. Well, we're just wanted to come in and say your captain speaking here. So we're flying over. You're on your flight headed to Juneau, Alaska, and just want to say that don't look out your left side as there are moose, and it is not legal in the state. Got all of you. You're going to jail as soon as we land.
I'm calling the authorities.
This is your captain speaking.
I would go to jail.
All right, on to Arizona. We're not going to do all 50 states. That would be that would.
Well, especially if you're reading 3 or 4
Well,
laws.
I just have sentences. They don't have little like
I
paragraphs.
just read the first one. I didn't read the second one.
I know. I was just saying I don't have. All I have is a couple of sentences per state. So
yeah, donkeys cannot sleep in bathtubs in Arizona.
Well, apparently in Glendale, Arizona, cars may not be driven in reverse. How do you get out of anywhere?
Right?
Are cops just waiting?
They are. It's also illegal to cut a cactus.
Huh.
It is illegal to harm, collect, dig up, transplant, or sell. Oh, it's a specific cacti.
Okay.
Saguaro cacti without a permit.
I have 2 that I'm like, what? It is illegal for men and women over the age of 18 to have less than one missing tooth visible when smiling.
What?
Yeah, I'm confused by that.
So
to
everybody,
have less than one
everybody has to have a missing tooth
when smiling if you're over the age of 18.
Well,
and
I can't move to Arizona.
And then in Mojave County, a decree declares that anyone caught stealing soap must wash with it until it is all used up.
Like right then?
Yes. If they're caught stealing soap.
That's going to be a long shower.
Yeah. Shouldn't they be conserving water a little bit?
Right.
All right. So
Arkansas.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people who need to go to jail because of this. It is illegal to mispronounce the name of the state, Arkansas.
Yeah, I see that. It has to be Arkansas.
Yeah.
Not Arkansas.
Oh my gosh. Or
have you heard
Arkansas? Yes.
Really?
I have heard both of those.
That is crazy. Well, apparently in Arkansas, it is illegal to buy or sell blue light bulbs.
Just the blue ones.
And also, alligators may not be kept in bathtubs.
No pet alligators in those bathtubs.
Last one here. A law provides that school teachers who bob their hair will not get a raise.
Ooh. No Karen haircuts.
No Karen teachers. No Karens.
Even though I guess that's considered a bob. I don't know what all constitutes as a bob.
That's a bob. Somebody got mad from someone with a haircut and said, no.
No raise for you. So, California. Women are not allowed to drive a car while wearing a house coat.
Okay. In Burlingame, California, this is a short list of ones for this specific town. It's illegal to spit except on baseball diamonds. Caramel ice cream may not be eaten while standing on the sidewalk, which was repealed when Clint Eastwood was the mayor.
Wow.
And women may not wear high heels while in the city limits.
So the baseball one,
yeah,
of course they had to make it legal then, because there's not a pitcher on God's green earth that doesn't spit every 2 minutes.
Well,
at least
there is a deep history connection between either sunflower seeds or chewing tobacco and baseball. So,
well, even when they don't have any chaw or sunflower seeds, they're just over here spitting.
You've only watched
for the
it,
sake of spitting.
You've only watched it on TV, and I think college baseball, at least, I don't think they're allowed to have chewing tobacco in on TV or something like that. I'm not sure of that. That could be an old rule that's no longer a thing. I don't know. But anyway, community leaders passed an ordinance that makes it illegal for anyone to try and stop a child from playfully jumping over puddles of water.
That's kind of cute. Sucks for parents, but that's kind of cute.
It's illegal to have caller ID in California. And
Oh, some telemarketer company was behind that.
yeah. And it's illegal to set a mousetrap without a hunting license.
Wow.
Last one, Hollywood. In Hollywood, it is illegal to drive more than 2,000 sheep down Hollywood Boulevard at one time. Yeah, 1,999. You're okay.
That had to have been because of some movie or something.
I imagine so.
All right. So,
Colorado.
It is illegal to keep a couch on your porch. That rule or that law would never stand in the South.
No, we had a couch on our porch. In Denver, the dog catcher must notify dogs of impounding by posting for 3 consecutive days. A notice on a tree in the city park and along a public road running through said park. It is unlawful to lend your vacuum cleaner to your next door neighbor, and it is illegal to mistreat rats. And lastly, you may not drive a black car on Sundays. I'm not sure that I fully understand the dog catcher thing, but they have to notify dogs of impounding by posting for 3 consecutive days. A notice on a tree in the city park and along a public road running through said park. Can dogs read in Denver, apparently?
Well, I think what it means is that if they impound a dog, they have to have that dog posted for 3 days so that if the owners are looking for them.
Yeah, I know. I was.
The vacuum cleaner one,
Yeah,
that was 100% because people were borrowing their neighbors' stuff and the vacuum cleaner companies were not selling enough. And
probably
so they were
so.
like, make it illegal. All right, Connecticut. Pickles must bounce to be considered safe for human consumption. Apparently, this rule comes all the way back from the 1940s when officials wanted to ensure the quality and freshness of pickles sold in the state. They devised a test. If the pickle doesn't bounce when dropped from a certain height, it isn't fresh enough.
Well, Connecticut must have heard about the law in Denver, Colorado, because they said you may not educate dogs. It is illegal to educate dogs.
Wow. So all these dogs just running around like heathens.
Yeah.
Totally uneducated.
They're just stupid out there. You go to Connecticut and you'll meet some dumb dogs. All right. Let's jump a couple. I got one for DC, for Washington, DC, District of Columbia.
Mine just went to Delaware and then it goes on to
Florida. Okay, well, I'll just give one real quick. It is unlawful for small boys to throw stones at any time, at any place in the District of Columbia. And then in Washington, D.C., it is illegal to post a notice in public which calls another person a coward for refusing to accept a challenge to duel.
Wow. So, Florida is one of those states that everybody kind of makes fun of.
Yeah.
Like Florida man is a thing, right?
Sure.
This state has a really weird law. It says unmarried women who parachute on Sundays can be fined or jailed. Unmarried women apparently can parachute any other day of the week, but there's something about that Sunday.
No Sundays.
And so for it to specify unmarried women, so married women can do it.
Right. So you could parachute on a Sunday with no fines.
Yeah. That seems so out of pocket for Florida.
In Sarasota, it is illegal to sing in a public place while attired in a swimsuit. Sarasota, Florida.
Nice.
And if an elephant is left tied to a parking meter, the parking fee has to be paid just as it would for a vehicle. And women may be fined for falling asleep under a hairdryer, as can the salon owner.
Wow.
So don't be falling asleep under that dryer. under that thing that goes over your head and it goes. Those things, I've never sat under one, but ever since I was a kid, those things have freaked me out. I was like, what is happening
They're
under
not
there?
that bad, but it's not comfortable enough to fall asleep in. That's
I've seen
interesting.
people fall asleep under them.
Hmm.
All right, on to
This one in Georgia is kind of funny.
okay,
It says
go ahead.
carrying an ice cream cone in your back pocket is illegal. Yeah, I hope so. It's too hot in Georgia to have a ice cream cone in your back pocket. Even in the winter, it's too hot.
In Jonesboro, Georgia, it's illegal to say "oh boy."
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Oh, does that mean that they can't? Oh wait, never mind. That's. I was
You're
thinking of a
thinking,
different
oh
song.
my.
Good Lord,
Oh, yeah.
yes.
It's against the law to tie a giraffe to a telephone pole or a street lamp. There was another state that said this one as well. Donkeys may not be kept in the bathtub.
Yeah, that was in Arizona.
Yeah.
But it specifically says that they can't sleep in the bathtub.
Well, they
can be in the bathtub, but don't you let them fall asleep.
In Georgia, you can't even put them in the bathtub.
Mm.
So, let's jump down a little bit.
I got one more. I'm going to do one for Hawaii just because I have a corny joke.
Okay, cool.
So somebody in Hawaii that had to do with laws hates musicians. Are not musicians, magicians, because coins are not allowed to be placed in one's ear. So that person had a magician go, "Oh, quarter in your ear," and they were like, "No,
I'm a serious man. I am a serious man. How dare? Do you not know who I am?" Because that's how people from Hawaii sound.
That's 100%.
In Idaho, in Boise, Idaho, residents may not fish from a giraffe's back.
Mm.
What are all these laws about giraffes coming from?
And like, who had giraffes in these states?
Right? I'm very confused.
Riding a merry-go-round on Sunday is illegal in Idaho.
Idaho state law makes it illegal for a man to give his sweetheart a box of candy weighing less than 50 pounds.
Good Lord. Don't ever give me a box of chocolate. I'm going to just be like, free chocolate for everybody, because this is going to make me sick.
Especially if it's sugar-free chocolate. Like, geez Louise, you're going to be pooping for days. All right, let's move on to, oh my gosh, Indiana. There's one that I see here that's kind of crazy. All males 18 to 50 years old must work 6 days a year on public roads.
Wow. Wow. That's intense.
Yeah, that is intense. Also, spiteful gossip and talking behind a person's back are illegal in Indiana.
Oop, Indiana, you better check yourself.
Going down to Iowa. Do you have a good one for Iowa?
No.
I do. A man with a mustache may never kiss a woman in public.
Mm.
And
sorry,
also,
baby, we can't move to Iowa.
Yeah. Also, horses are forbidden to eat fire hydrants in Marshalltown, Iowa.
I did know that one.
They're forbidden to eat fire hydrants. What? Okay, I gotta look up the history of this one. Horses.
I mean, I know horses have, some of them are just like children and they want to put everything in their mouth, but I can't imagine more than just one little nibble and a horse is like, "Oh yeah, this fire hydrant, man."
I gotta find. Okay, why is it? Give me the reason.
Give me the history. That could be a fun segment. Give me the history. And
Give me the history.
We talk about something and then what the history of it is.
I'm trying to find.
And I'm trying to fill space while he's trying to find.
Why? Give me the why.
Oh, in Kansas, hitting a vending machine that stole your money is illegal. I don't necessarily know about a lot of people in Kansas doing that, but I'm sure there's been at least one player on the Chiefs who has gotten mad at a vending machine at least once.
Yeah.
And has been like, "Oh, come on, man."
The only thing I can find is a city attorney stated, "I would fear any horse that could." And it says that it's not just eating it. It said it made it illegal for animals, horses to be tied to or damage fire hydrants, telephone poles, street lights, and trees, as well as bite or eat them.
Hmm.
So I'm guessing that in Marshalltown, Iowa, there was a history of people just kind of tying them up wherever, and horses were getting tired of being there and started biting on things. And I'm sure a fire hydrant broke somehow whenever they were biting on it, and it just like water everywhere. Anyway, the city attorney said, I would fear any horse that could.
Yeah, right.
I also would fear a horse that could eat a fire hydrant. All right, in Louisiana, in Kentucky, every citizen is required to take a shower once a year. At least once a year.
I would hope so. It is also illegal to dye ducklings blue and sell them in Kentucky.
It's illegal in Kentucky for someone to marry the same man more than 3 times.
Honey, if you've done it that many times, you guys just need to move states away from one another.
Guys
like go no contact.
And in Owensboro, Kentucky, a woman may not buy a hat without her husband's permission.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sure that is not upheld anymore.
I would hope not.
All right, down to Louisiana. You got one for Louisiana?
I've got a couple actually. Okay. Mourners at a wake may not eat more than 3 sandwiches.
Well, I broke that law.
Are we talking like the little fingerling sandwiches, or?
I have no idea, but I've broken that law.
And then no snakes near the Mardi Gras parade because, making a law for animals, definitely those animals know exactly what's happening.
I think that has more to do with some snake handling people.
Yeah, for sure.
An old ordinance declares goatees illegal unless you first pay a special license fee for the privilege of wearing one in public in Louisiana. Also, biting someone with your natural teeth is simple assault, while biting someone with your false teeth is aggravated assault. It's illegal to gargle in public places, and it's illegal for a woman to drive a car unless her husband is waving a flag in front of it.
So is he just running down the road, waving the flag she can drive behind
She can only drive in the parade, and her husband has to be the flag twirler. In New Orleans, you may not tie an alligator to a fire hydrant.
What is it with the fire hydrants?
Also,
who's got a pet
alligator
that they're just going around tying up in public?
Also, it's just such a stereotype. It's just such a stereotype. I tell you what, for the rest of our states, let's just do states we've been in, like lived in. So Maine is the next one.
Advertisements may not be placed in a cemetery.
You may not step out of a plane while it's in flight in Maine. And after January 14th, you will be charged a fine for having your Christmas decorations still up.
I know some people in Nebraska who are breaking the law. It says a bar cannot sell beer unless it is also brewing a kettle of soup.
Well, in Lehigh, Nebraska, donut holes may not be sold. And also in Waterloo, Nebraska, barbers are forbidden from eating onions between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m.
I mean, that's not the worst law because no one wants that in their face.
A parent can be arrested if his or her child cannot hold back a burp during a church service. I know some people who should get arrested in this town because I've heard some burps during church.
Well, they're children.
Right. I've heard some children burping during church. All right. On to
New York.
New York. That's right.
It is illegal to throw a ball at somebody's head for fun. And I wholeheartedly condone this.
Well, in Brooklyn, New York, donkeys are not allowed to sleep in bathtubs. Why? Why is there so many things?
Apparently, in New York, there is a peculiar law that prohibits greeting someone by putting one's thumb to the nose and wiggling the fingers. The gesture is commonly known as the thumbing of the nose. It is considered an unconventional and impolite way to greet or mock someone.
Well, slippers are not allowed to be worn after 10 p.m. So you broke the law in New York, Hannah.
I did.
And also, a fine of $25 can be levied for flirting.
I didn't do that.
Oh, I'd hope not. I mean, you flirted with me.
I mean, I flirted with you.
But we're married, so I
yeah.
don't think. Anyway.
So, North Carolina.
North Carolina.
Under North Carolina General Statutes 14-309.8, it is illegal to operate or participate in a game of bingo while under the influence of an impairing substance. So, no drunk bingo.
In Nags Head, North Carolina, you can be fined for singing out of tune for more than 90 seconds. And also in Barber, North Carolina, fights between cats and dogs are prohibited. Elephants may not be may not be used to plow the cotton fields. And in Asheville, it is illegal to sneeze on the city streets.
So we've not lived in Tennessee, but we're right there at the Tennessee border, so we've been there a few times. It is illegal to use someone else's Netflix account in Tennessee. So that's that's a newer one. That's been since 2011.
Yeah. Well, driving is not to be done while asleep in Tennessee.
Well, I would hope not.
In Memphis, it is illegal for a woman to drive a car unless there is a man either running or walking in front of it, waving a red flag to warn approaching motorists and pedestrians. What? So only men can drive in Memphis? And also, it's illegal to catch a fish with a lasso in Tennessee.
Nice. That would be impressive.
Yeah, it would
That
be.
would be some impressive skills.
It would be.
And I can't imagine anybody who was able to do that actually, someone actually pursuing legal advice, or not legal advice, legal ramifications for that.
All right, well, let's wrap it up here with Wisconsin.
It is illegal to serve butter substitutes without the customer's approval. And I feel like that is the perfect law for Wisconsin.
In Wisconsin, it is illegal to cut a woman's hair or to kiss on a train. Also, you're not allowed to marry your house in Wisconsin.
Dang it.
And after 3 a.m., you have to send a rocket signal in the air after every mile you drive.
That's great. So some of these were out of order, out of alphabetical order. And the very last one on this, number 50, is gorillas are not allowed to sit in the back seat of a car. Do you want to guess what state that is?
Can you give me a region? Where in the
Northeast?
Country? Northeast.
Yeah.
So like the New England area.
Yeah.
Is it Massachusetts?
It is. Oh my gosh.
Hey, come on. Hey, you can't have a gorilla in the car.
In the back seat of a car.
Hey, the gorilla's got to be in the front of the car.
You move it to the front.
Move it to the front of the car. In Wyoming, just one last little thing. Cheyenne citizens may not take showers on Wednesdays. And you may not take a picture of a rabbit during the month of June. And on that note, that's going to be another episode of A Little Off the Top with your hosts,
Hannah
and Noah. Thank you so much for listening and watching exclusively on Spotify. Go ahead and share it with your friends if you enjoyed it. Give us 5 stars. And if they didn't enjoy it, what do they do, Hannah?
They can ignore it and just keep on scrolling.
That's right, because there are a million podcasts out there. But if you did enjoy it, share it with your friends. Give us 5 stars, all those good things. And that's going to be it for today. Bye-bye.
Bye.